Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, I am seriously so excited you're here today because we are tackling an absolute giant of a book. We're going to finally demystify Umberto Eco's famously intimidating, beautifully complex masterpiece, Foucault's Pendulum. Now, if you've ever been curious about this one, but maybe felt a little overwhelmed by its massive reputation, or hey, maybe you've already read it and you just want to unpack its deepest philosophical layers, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to break the whole thing down, step by step. Right off the bat, let's address the elephant in the room. You're probably thinking, secret societies, the Knights Templar, hidden codes. Wait, isn't this just the Da Vinci Code? Well, to put it into perspective, one reader on a mystery book forum summed it up absolutely perfectly. Umberto Eco is Michael Jordan compared to Dan Brown's state honorable mention high school basketball player. Ouch, right? But it's true. While pop culture thrillers just play the game, Eco elevates the historical mystery into high culture literature. We're talking deep roots in semiotics, philosophy, and history. The stakes here are highly intellectual, and trust me, this labyrinth goes way, way deeper. All right, let's jump right in. Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the ultimate intellectual thriller, then inventing the cosmic plan, move on to the trap of overinterpretation, hit laundry lists and fakes, and finally, how to read the labyrinth. Part 1, the ultimate intellectual thriller. Welcome to Garamond Press. This is where we meet our three protagonists, Casaubon, Belbo, and Diottelevi. They're editors at a publishing house in Milan, basically just spending their days sifting through huge piles of manuscripts. But here's the catch. They aren't exactly reading normal books. They deal mostly with manuscripts they've nicknamed the Diabolicals. These are self-financing vanity press writers who are just completely, utterly obsessed with esoteric mysteries, the occult, and, yes, the Knights Templar. So our editors are constantly bombarded by these super eccentric conspiracy theorists. And at first, Casaubon and his friends look down on all this. They've got a lot of intellectual arrogance, right? They see it as a twisted syllogism, a total joke. But this daily, relentless exposure to the world of conspiracies, it sets a very dangerous stage. Which brings us to part 2, inventing the cosmic plan. The game begins. And it really is a game, driven entirely by a dangerous mix of curiosity and, honestly, just sheer boredom from our jaded editors. So, to construct their grand, completely fake conspiracy, which they just called the plan, they use a pretty simple formula. First, they feed random occult data into Balbo's primitive word processor, a computer they call Abulafia. I'm talking everything: Templars, Rosicrucians, Hollow Earth theory, you name it. Step 2, they just sprinkle in connecting phrases like, "It's obvious that," or "This proves that." And finally, they fill in the blanks to rewrite the entire history of the world. They think it's hilarious. They're treating it as this brilliant joke, just totally reveling in the thrill of piecing together this massive fake puzzle of world domination. Now here's where it gets really interesting. To actually build this fake plan, the editors have to adopt what Eco calls the hermetic mindset. This is the belief that everything has a hidden meaning, everything is connected, and the real truth is always lurking just beneath the surface. It's a mindset that relies 100% on what we call selective coherence. Basically, you just cherry-pick the data that fits your wild theory and you completely ignore the facts that don't. And while it starts as a fun game for them, this mindset slowly starts poisoning their reasoning. Before they know it, they're seeing hidden connections everywhere. Part 3, the trap of overinterpretation. Flipping the script. This is where we see that Foucault's Pendulum is way more than just a thriller. It's actually Eco's deep, philosophical argument against the real-world dangers of overanalyzing everything. Okay, stay with me here, because at the very heart of the novel is a massive academic debate. On one side, we have infinite semiosis. This is championed by thinkers like Derrida, and it basically argues that meaning literally never stops. Language is just this endless play of signs, and you can interpret a text to mean practically anything. But then we have Eco, drawing on the philosopher Charles Sanders Peirce on the other side. He argues for unlimited semiosis. He says, yes, meaning is expansive, absolutely, but it has to be safely governed by established human cultural codes and the actual context of the text itself. Eco is basically waving a giant red flag here. He's warning us against a society that is completely open to unconstrained interpretation, where a text gets beaten into submission just to fit whatever crazy theory a reader comes up with. And Eco brilliantly illustrates this conflict through his characters. Take Colonel Ardenti, for example. He's the ultimate diabolical. He'll look at a historical text and just endlessly manipulate the number 36. He'll multiply it, add its digits, divide it, do whatever it takes to magically arrive at the number 666 everywhere he looks. He's endlessly chasing this abstract cosmic significance. But then, on the flip side, we have Leah, Kazubon's fiercely sensible partner. When she looks at numbers, she roots them in grounded physical reality. She literally counts the body's limbs, eyes, fingers, and toes. It's so refreshing. Eco uses Leah to champion realism. He's showing us that physical reality is its own truth. Not every single thing is a symbol for some shadowy hidden conspiracy. Part 4, laundry lists and fakes, when the joke becomes real. The tension skyrockets here because the editor's fake plan actually starts drawing the attention of real, highly dangerous secret societies. These occultists hear whispers of the plan, and they demand to know the ultimate final secret, a secret that, remember, doesn't actually exist. The absolute centerpiece of this entire tragic misunderstanding is a scrap of text known as the Message of Provenance. Depending on your mindset, it's two entirely different things. If you use the Hermetic reading, which the secret societies and eventually our paranoid editors do, you see this text as a highly coded map outlining a centuries-long Templar master plan for world domination. But Leah, she applies a realist reading. She does some actual historical research and proves that it is literally just a mundane medieval laundry list. It's a merchant writing down his day's purchases of hay, roses, and stones. It's a grocery run. But the occultist won't accept that. No way. To them, incoherence is the closest thing to God, and they demand a grand revelation. Ultimately, the intellectual arrogance of these editors has terrifying real-world consequences. Dito Levy actually falls terminally ill, and in this really tragic climactic moment, he realizes their fatal mistake. He says, rearranging the letters of the book means rearranging the world. He genuinely believes that by disrespecting history, by thoughtlessly turning a laundry list into a global conspiracy just for a laugh, they broke the natural order of the world, and his very cells are paying the price. Their fake has become a deadly reality. Part 5, How to Read the Labyrinth. Equipping the Reader. Now, if all this sounds a little intimidating, please do not worry. I want to equip you with the exact mindset you need to actually pick this book up and absolutely love it. The reader community actually has some brilliant advice for tackling this beast of a book. First, treat it as a character-driven thriller. Just enjoy the crazy ride of these three guys getting in way over their heads. Second, and this is absolutely vital, do not look up every obscure word. Eco fills a book with dense occult terminology on purpose. You're actually supposed to feel like a confused initiate being bombarded with secret knowledge. Third, if you do want a puzzle, translating the chapter epigraphs is incredibly rewarding. And finally, just let those dense first chapters wash over you. Look, you don't need a PhD to read this. You just need to surrender to the labyrinth and see where it takes you. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final, provocative thought. When you look at the world around you, will you choose to get lost in the endless labyrinth of hidden meanings? Or will you have the wisdom to see the laundry list for exactly what it is? Foucault's Pendulum is just a brilliant cautionary tale about the human desire for order, and I literally cannot recommend it enough. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and hey, keep seeking the truth. Just make sure it's actually there.